Hello everyone, my name is Natalya, and my graduation project is called Liminence. Today I will share how my research shaped this work and how it transformed my artistic position. In my position paper, I explored how immersive participatory experiences can evoke cathartic moments in which something previously unspoken becomes perceptible through the body. I worked with sound, movement, light, and the subtle senses. I combined artistic experimentation with insights from philosophy and neuroscience. Through improvisation with dancers, musicians, and participants, I examined how emotion can surface and be shared without necessarily needing language. All of this comes together in liminence, which I define as a threshold where perception, memory, and emotion briefly align. So before the position paper, my artistic practice was driven by something very instinctive and personal: the voice. As a child, I experienced panic attacks, and the sounds that came with these moments became my first form of expression. This eventually evolved into my work as a metal vocalist, where the voice is still my primary tool for accessing and expressing emotional intensity. Later, I incorporated lyrics and spoken text, but I often felt that language shaped or limited what I wanted to express. Sometimes it clarified emotion, but often it softened it, and this led me to a central tension. Does language liberate emotion, or does it contain it? And at that stage, I understood emotion as either instinctive or rational, either something that bursts out or something that can be explained. And I didn't yet see the complexity in between. This personal history led me to one clear research question: how can chance-driven sensory encounters enable cathartic experiences? And the question guided the entire position paper and now guides my graduation project. At first, I understood catharsis mostly as emotional release. But through studying artistic, philosophical, and psychoanalytical perspectives, my understanding shifted. I now see catharsis as a form of awareness, and it unfolds in steps: an openness to the world through the senses, then a moment of recognition or release, and the integration of that moment afterwards. It's not a dramatic climax or a cleansing. It's a brief passage where feeling and perception reorganize themselves. What fascinated me most was how a catharsis can be triggered by chance. A shift in light, a vibration in space, an unexpected sound, and these unplanned sensory events interrupt our predictions and invite emotion to surface without being shaped by language or expectation. This is where liminence emerges. So what does the word actually mean? Liminence is the concept I developed to describe these threshold moments. It refers to the point where chance, perception, and memory intersect and create a fleeting form of embodied catharsis. It's when something becomes perceptible that wasn't accessible before, not necessarily as a story or a thought, but as a sensation. Liminence also acknowledges the dual nature of language. Language can reveal experience, but it can also reduce or contain it. Liminence is the space where emotion becomes perceptible before it becomes named. It's a moment of resonance between self and the world. Awareness briefly reorganizes itself. Writing the position paper shifted my position in 3 important ways. First, I no longer see emotion as either instinctive or rational. I now understand emotion as something constructed between body, environment, prediction, and culture. Second, I began to value unpredictability, not as chaos, but as a catalyst. Chance opens perception and allows emotion to surface without existing patterns filtering it. And third, I now view my artistic practice not just as self-expression, but as the crafting of emotional environments, spaces where feeling can rise, move, and be shared. This research resonates strongly with the current artistic landscape. We live in a culture overloaded with language, images, and constant cognitive interpretation. Many contemporary artists are shifting towards embodied sensory and immersive work as a response, prioritizing lived experience over explanation. My project aligns with this movement by focusing on atmospheres, sensory thresholds, and participatory experiences. It asks how art can restore our capacity for embodied awareness in a world that often prioritizes analysis over sensation. And I'm glad to share that this all culminates in my graduation project, which will take place in the NC Silo in Maastricht. The silo is an environment filled with acoustic resonance, physical history, and atmospheric depth. Its architecture becomes a collaborator in the work. Within this space, I will create a sensory environment using sound, light, movement, and subtle atmospheric shifts that invite participants into states of liminence. I will work with dancers, musicians, and participants through improvisation, allowing chance to shape the experience. The aim is not to produce catharsis, but to create conditions where cathartic awareness can emerge naturally. With this project, I hope to show that art can function not only as expression, but as a social act of awareness, a space where people can encounter themselves and others beyond words. My research began with a personal instinctive relationship to the voice. Through the position paper, I developed a new understanding of catharsis and of emotion as embodied, relational, and shaped by chance. And this led me to create Liminence, both the concept and the project that explores how sensory encounters can open new forms of awareness. Thank you for listening.